Shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem Amashiach Yahweh Shah. This is the house of Saint Nicholas and the Nicholas family. All right. These four books that I have up here, Whence the Black Irish of Jamaica, written by Joseph J. Williams. Jacobite Gleanings from State Manuscripts, Short Sketches of Jacobites, The Transportation in 1745 by J. Macbeth Forbes, Memoirs of the Secret Services of John Mackey Esquire during the reigns of King Williams, Queen Anne, and King George I by John Mackey Esquire, and Virginia Colonial Soldiers by Lloyd Buckstruck. These books can date you back to your forefathers, those melanated Hebrews who came from Europe into the Americas as colonists or prisoners of war. This history is blotted out because imposters is standing in our stead. We have imposters claiming to be the Jacobites. The Jacobites were our forefathers, the ones we wear the surnames to. Yes, the same ones we wear the surnames to. Those brothers were from Europe, black men that were fighting for King Charles II, who was in fact a black man. All right, our history is being hijacked by the Edomite wild men. All right, YTs, and we must snatch our history back, just like the Hebrew Israelites are snatching their history back from the Ashkenazi Jewish people. All right, you got to remember, they told us that we all came from Africa because they had to hide this history. Because right now and today, you have imposters. What's the best word? Squatting in your forefathers' manners in the states and castles. And this is real shit, because we have the books. Know what I mean? This ain't no mystery. This ain't no educated thought. This ain't no theory. This is all facts, all right? Our history was not erased. It was stolen and then whitewashed, all right? So now, I'm going to go into the Jacobite gleaning and what it's about, all right? The Jacobite gleaning is the transportations and the records of the black soldiers that was being expelled out of Europe by Oliver Cromwell, all right? In this book, it lists our forefathers' names, ages, and descriptions, all right? And places of origin, all right? We can't say that they erased our history. No, they buried our history. But now the history is rising out of the concrete as if it was a rose, all right? Whence the Black Irish of Jamaica by Joseph J. Williams, all right? This book, the author of Hebrewism of West Africa, Whisperings of the Caribbeans, all right? Joseph J. Williams, all right? All right. The introduction. Visitors to Jamaica and the West Indies frequently remark a seeming anomaly. And even the remotest section of the bush and among the darkest of the Negroes who clearly trace their ancestry back to the earliest slaves, they will find distinctively Irish names so common that in unregarded moment they are apt to give flight to the imagination and claim that they actually encountered a touch of the brogue. A few years ago in one school in Kingston might be found Burt Collins, Mackey, McDormand, McKeon, Walsh, and with one exception, the last name, who was a dusky brown. They were to all appreciate full-blooded Negro. They were all appearances of full-blooded Negroes. In a single classroom of another school, there were Collins, Kennedy, McCormick, O'Hare, and Hare again. In only one case did the features of complexion indicate any infusion of Caucasian blood. Although this one, too, was a black as the rest, perhaps one of the names most frequently met with throughout the islands is that of Burke. All right? In some few instances, it is true. The name itself may be a corruption of that of the Haitian refugees du Berg, who came to Jamaica in the 18th century, which was the 700, at the time of the Haitian uprising. The unusual explanation given for the presence of the Irish name is, of course, that the slaves of the former days were generally called by the family name of the master. But in the case of Burke, at least we do not find a single planter. A planter is a slave master of that name among the early records of Jamaica. Let that sink in. Certainly, the survey of the year 1670 shows that at that time, not 1 acre of land was owned by anyone named Burke. Let that sink in. And then the same may be said in the case of most of the other Irish names we accounted today among the Negroes of the island. So what they're saying is all of the Irish names, all of the brothers, the melanated Hebrews that's in Ireland, that's in Jamaica, with Irish surnames, they can't find a planter, a slave master on that land with that surname. So what they're telling you is that these Jamaican brothers that came from these Jamaican brothers that's landed, that's in Jamaica, did not come from Africa, but they in fact came from Ireland. Their forefathers came from Ireland due to the fight, the religious wars with Oliver Cromwell and King Charles and the English. All right. The purpose then of the present writer is to find a solution to the riddle, whence the Black Irish of Jamaica, and the answer, briefly summarized, lent itself to a threefold division from Ireland through Barbados to Jamaica. All right, so it's giving you in-depth history about our forefathers coming into the Americas from England, Ireland, and Scotland. So why is it that we get this Africa doctrine? Why? You know why? Because our lawyers, our judges, our governors, our senators, and all those that's in power, all those Caucasians that's in power, hijack our forefathers' heralds and genealogies. All right? They hijacked it. They stole them. All right? But it wasn't a complete hijack, because you got to remember, the Hebrews ruled the Dark Ages of Europe for 1,000 years, from 500 AD to 1500 AD. As we were in rulership in Europe, England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Portugal, Spain, there were wild men coming into the realm. The wild men were the YT people, the people that caused the Black Plague. That was another reason why Afro-European got wiped out, is because they let the YT wild men, Edomites, into their realm. And when they let them into their realm, to civilize them, all right, usher in this new beginning, civilizing the heathen, he came and spread his disease, which wiped out half of the population, all right? Because back in Europe, our forefathers was real lusty men, all right? They were lusty men. It's written in books like Memoirs of the Secret Services of John Mackey, Esquire, by John Mackey. All right, it'll tell you our forefathers was lusty, and as these Caucasian Edomite wild men, YT people were coming into the realm, our forefathers was breeding with them, and a lot of our forefathers waxed pale, meaning the interbreeding with Caucasian people lightened our complexion up, and some Caucasian people are descendant of Black nobility and Black royalty of Europe. All right, some of them. You may think that they're Caucasian, but if they're not Caucasian, they're just Hebrews that wax pale due to the colorism, due to the our forefathers sleeping with the wild women. All right, coming out of the forests of Europe. All right, in mountains, in the caves. All right. So what I'm saying is, once we get these books, we can date back to our forefathers. And if we all do it, if we all was to do it, because half of the names that we wear in Americas and the Caribbean islands are listed in these books. Half of the names that we wear is listed. If we tie back and claim these forefathers, then there's a big inheritance. You know what I'm saying? There's a wake up. The inheritance it don't always have to be financial. All right? It could be spiritual. It could be a spiritual awakening that will have all the blacks in the Americas, the Caribbean islands, and all those that wear English, Irish, and Scottish and Welsh or dark age Negro surnames, that I have them researching their forefathers and claiming their forefathers, putting a flag down. So now them little kids, them little YT kids that grew up all their life thinking that, you know what I'm saying, them dark age kings and knights were white. Once we bring this history out, how you think they're gonna feel? They're gonna grow up. The righteous ones will surely say our forefathers gave us lies to inherit it, and things where there's no profit and it's vain and it don't serve us no purpose. And you are the true bearers of these heralds and this legacy that we're stealing. All right, but we all have to do it. And these are the books that we start off with, because our family names are in these books. You know what I'm saying? This is why it's up here. So all that I'm African, and the only way you can say that you African is if you did your genealogy and it went back to a planter or went back to a slave ship that came from West Africa. And a lot of y'alls can't say that your forefathers came from West Africa, because a lot of y'alls ain't never do the research. All right? Now, I can say that my forefathers came from Europe, because I got history of them coming into Barbados from Bristol, from the Bristol captivity. I got two ancestors that I could date back that came in as indigent servants in 1620 and 1630, around there. You know? From Barbados to Trinidad. From Trinidad to the Americas on the paternal side. You know? On my maternal side, on my mother's maternal side, I found out my grandmother forefathers on the paternal side were slave masters in Jamaica. Black slave masters in Jamaica. And I got the history and I want to bring it out, but when it's not the time. You know what I'm saying? It's not the time, because our people is wicked. Before we inquire and try to learn from the situation, we'll use that to attack each other. What? Your forefathers were slave masters. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to use that right now. So what I'm saying is, these books right here can tie you back to your history, to your treasures. Because we have the Black Irish, the Black Scots, the Jacobites, the Welsh here. We got them here in the Americas, and y'all wearing the names. Y'all literally wearing the names. And if y'all could date back, and if it all ties together, y'all could go to the British. Like, hold on, y'all could knock on the British door. Hold on. We got all the history. We got all the books. I think y'all owe us something. Black Americans got so much history today pertaining to who they are, concerning their surnames. They could go to Europe and get reparations. These books right here These 4 books right here is the key. These 4 books right here, especially Memoirs of the Secret Services of John Mackey, Esquire, because it show our forefathers in their royal states in Europe, in the British courts, in their royal states. Yeah, in the Memoirs of the Secret Services of John Mackey, Esquire. It shows our forefathers in their royal states in Europe. All right? But they blot that out because we got imposters, the YT imposters, hiding our family, hiding our heralds in whiteface. They whitewashed our history. We grew up thinking Knights and the Templars and Knights in shining armor was Caucasian. We grew up thinking that. They embed that in our brains as soon as we come out the womb. But now we're going to change that because we got the history. All right? And this is for our kids. This ain't for you, grown-ass man and grown-ass woman, because I'm pretty sure you're already stuck in your own belief. But give your kids something. This is the history right here. Because now this is chastising the American government and the British. You know, the Virginia colonial soldiers, those is brothers that fought for the independence of America. You got black forefathers that fought for the independence of America. And due to us integrating into their schools, we forgot that. We lost the history. Yeah. So this history is out there, man. I hope y'all get these books, edify your family, edify your kids, so they could learn more and change the globe, man. And claim their inheritance, their God's given inheritance that's written in their names, that they're wearing on their backs. Shalom.